In the historic landscape of Yorktown, countless deeds and actions have achieved legendary status. Yet beyond the well-known legends lie stories obscured by the passage of time. I am Jeff Santos, and together we will explore the hidden history of Yorktown. We're standing here in front of the iconic Thomas Nelson House, which was built back in 1720 from bricks imported from England. All these bricks in this house were brought over from England on ships, and by 1730, the most magnificent home in the entire village was constructed. Now, upon his passing, Scotch Tom had handed it down to his grandson, Thomas Nelson Jr. And Thomas Nelson Jr. was a very wealthy man. He owned the Swan Tavern, he owned a shop here in Yorktown, he owned a warehouse down at the waterfront, and he had several ships that he owned. Well, when the War for Independence started, General Nelson believed in this cause so much that he handed over everything he had, every dime, every possession, to support the War for Independence. So he became the general of the Virginia militia, and on the third day of the siege, he's standing on a hill overlooking Yorktown with Lafayette standing next to him. And Lafayette asks him, he says, "My lord, to which direction should I aim my cannons?" Now General Nelson, without hesitation, he said, "Aim them at my house, because I'm sure Cornwallis would find it desirable for headquarters." So they're firing on his house just on the chance that Cornwallis was here. Now Cornwallis was not here, and here we have this man that for the first time in his life was not only without money, but was in debt. And his first response is, "Fire on my house if it will gain independence." So to this day, there's cannonballs stuck in the walls as a reminder of when he fired on his own house. Now his house did survive the war. It stayed in the Nelson family all the way up through the Civil War. And during this time, this was the biggest hospital here in Yorktown. It was first used by the Confederate side and then by the Union. And they would triage the patients. So the most critically wounded, those who had little chance of survival, were put on the third floor, which is the attic. Now, the reason they did this was to keep them out of sight of the healthier soldiers with minor injuries for morale purposes. They didn't want these soldiers coming in that had minor wounds and seeing all the death that was actually occurring. Now, I'm told to this day, the hardwood floors in the attic are still stained with blood in certain areas from the time that this was used as a hospital during the Civil War. And it seems something else was left behind. Passerbys often report seeing the ghostly figure of a Confederate soldier peering from the attic window, silently watching the street below. Secrets never stay buried for long. This has been the Hidden History of Yorktown, with your guide through the shadows of the past, Jeff Santos.